So anyways, I'm going to be warming up for my special starting Saturday night in Washington, D.C., our nation's capital. Okay? I'm just going to walk around to anybody who's in government, right? And I'm just going to scream, "Really?" in their face. That's my goal during the week. Just walk down the street just saying that to everybody. I'm just blaming them because my choices are Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump. That's just what I'm doing. Anybody with a fucking blue blazer and a red or a blue tie, I'm grabbing them by the shoulder. You're not going to do that. But I would love to do it. I would like to do it, but post 9/11, you can't walk around doing shit like that, and I don't want to get into a fight. I'm an old man, I ever tell you that time I went down and I looked at the Pentagon like about 6 months after 9/11? I must have told you that story, right? Post 9/11, all right, I was in New York on 9/11. I was on the Upper East Side, the East 70s, all the way by the East River. And, there's a lot of old wives' tales told by people who lived in New York during that time. Dude, you wouldn't have known anything was going on. It was a fucking beautiful day. And even as it went down, as it collapsed and all that, when I walked outside, I didn't see anything in the air or anything. I mean, that was like a couple of miles away. And if it wasn't on television, I never would have even known that it happened. All I remember was walking around the Upper East Side, trying to block out what the fuck just happened, like a typical German-Irish Catholic. Sad feelings, block them out, act like nothing's happening. And I just remember walking around up there and there was people. It was so weird to me because Upper East Side, there are a bunch of, people who actually could afford to buy an apartment. A lot of them came from fucking money or what. I don't know what the hell they did. But I remember them sitting outside on that beautiful sunny day while that horror was going down there, and they were eating, breakfast and shit. And everybody had that weird sort of I feel like I should be doing something, but what? Can I get the salmon on the eggs Benedict? So, I went down and I saw after 9/11, remember that one piece of the World Trade was standing up? I went down, I saw that. And I remember down the Comedy Cellar for months after, a month after, was still burning. I'll never forget that smell. So when I went down to D.C., I mean, I knew, by then you knew that this was a changing moment in history. And it was just I wanted to see go over to the Pentagon and see how bad the damage was. So I didn't realize, I was such an idiot. I didn't realize that the Pentagon is like the Pentagon. I thought the Pentagon was also kind of like the Lincoln Memorial. You could just kind of go to it as a tourist, which you can. But there's a subway stop and you just get off at the Pentagon, and I'm walking around. There's all these people in plain clothes, and then you'd see people in Air Force outfits or Marine outfits. And so I was thinking, all right, they work here, but everybody else in plain clothes is like me. I didn't realize that they all kind of fucking work there, and it's like an office. It's a giant fucking office building in the shape of a Pentagon. So I start looking around. It's basically a circle with points on it, right? That's what a Pentagon is. How many sides to a Pentagon, Bill? Oh, I don't know. It's more than 5. It's a triangle, then there's a hexagon, then there's a proplexagon. I don't know what the fuck it is. And you know what? I knew it when I had to know it for the test, and that's never come up in my life. You know what I mean? You got a quartet, you got a quintet, that's jazz. I'm out of math, I'm into jazz. But isn't music just numbers put together beautifully? Sorry. So I'm standing there in this pointy fucking circle going, do I go to the right? Do I go to the left? I kind of go left, then I go right, then I start walking back left. Then I'm just fucking start walking around this thing. I'm trying to peek around the corner. I'm like, maybe I should have gone the other way. And I'm basically not realizing it. I'm looking shifty as hell. And of course, there's 50 fucking cameras on me. What the fuck is this dude doing, right? And I'm walking, I'm looking around, and all of a sudden, this fucking, was it a Jeep or a golf cart? I don't know what, just pulls up next to me, and this fucking guy gets out. When Powers Booth ever plays a military guy, he was like that with a beret. That's how much he was decorated, it seemed. No, he didn't have all that shit, but he had some shit on his fucking shirt, all right? And he had the beret, and I remember he got out, and he was doing that thing. You know when someone's about ready to snap your neck and they're smiling at the same time? Like that was the look on his face. Like he was showing me his teeth, smiling, but everything else just basically said is, I'm going to pull your fucking throat out like MacGruber. And he came up and he's just like, hey, buddy, what are you doing? And he's like looking through to the back of my head. And immediately I was just like, oh, then I didn't know what to say. And I was like, oh my God, what if he knew one of the people that died here? And then I was kind of, I was just, I'm a comedian. I'm in town playing Teddy's House of Comedy. And just, then he fucking took my name. And then it dawned on me why they were coming up to me. And the whole thing just made sense. Like, oh, this is like a military building, Bill. This isn't the Jefferson Memorial. You're walking around one of the most top secret fucking places and you're looking around and you look like a crazy white guy, right? So then it just struck me as funny. And then I was trying to hold back a laugh, right? Classic white privilege here, right? I could actually have this guy come up to me outside the Pentagon and I can still find the humor in it because I know I'm not going to get arrested, right? Is that what white privilege is? I don't know. I'm stuck in this wonderful fucking position. I'm just going to stare into that now and people just say white privilege. I'll be like, oh yeah, it's unbelievable. Woo! Anyways, what was I saying? Okay, so the fucking guy, he's taking down my name, and then I kind of have like this shit-eating grin on my face because, at that point they all kind of, because it was the guy who drove the Jeep who was like fucking Tom Cruise in Taps. He just couldn't let it go, right? So I kind of feel him staring at me like a fucking lunatic. And I'm like, well, if this guy here with all this shit on his shirt, I can feel him letting me go. You're not going to arrest me, the driver of the Jeep. You join the military to be a fucking chauffeur? Go fuck yourself. So now the comic in me is starting to come up and I want to irritate this guy. So I really start fucking smiling or what. I was like, yeah, man, sorry. I go, hey, man, you want to come out to the show? And blah, blah, blah. And the guy, he's kind of gone down from I'm going to fucking rip your throat out to kind of like maybe I'll just, I don't know what, stick a bayonet in your side. He's kind of down to that. Is that less? I don't know. Whatever the fuck it is. I'll just waterboard you. His look of craziness is I'm just going to waterboard you now. And I get to the end and he's like, all right. And he gets in the Jeep and the other guy was just staring fucking like daggers at me, the Jeep. And I was just looking right at him, smiling. And he goes, you're free to keep walking around this thing, blah, 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 blah. And I was just like, nah, man, I'm cool. Like, I don't need anybody else driving up to me with a fucking Jeep. So they go to drive away. And as they were driving away, I remember the guy in the Jeep, the guy driving, like, yelled. I think he was trying to make me jump. Like, he drove away and just heard this, like that. And I didn't jump. And I just without, like, looking back, I just put my hand up and waved at him. And that's my fucking Pentagon story.